A very warm welcome in the second module of week 1 of the course Entrepreneurship and IP Strategy. In the last module, we have seen what exactly we are going to learn in this course. Now, we will start today with the first basic question, that is, what is entrepreneurship? Probably you have gone through some basic concept about that what is entrepreneurship. Also probably you have browsed through some information about intellectual property, right. Now, what we will do here, we will not go exactly in a theoretical aspect of entrepreneurship, because that probably you know or you can just read that particular thing. But what I will do here is that I will give you a few examples here and we will try to relate it with a intellectual property. So, that will be very useful to you, that okay, how a particular entrepreneurial activity is related to IP, and I will give you a few examples which daily you are what we can say some products of that particular organization you are using, and these are the organizations which started with a very small what we can say a setup, and now these are the giants. So, here are a few examples like Tata, Microsoft, Tesla, Flipkart, Mahindra, then Facebook, Google, Apple, Reliance, India TV, Ola, Oyo. So, these are the few examples. Now, we will go a little bit deeper in that and we will try to know which IP is helping this organization to build up this entrepreneurial activity. So, the example we will start with a Tata. So, it is a multinational conglomerate and it is headquartered in Mumbai. Who is a founder of this organization? Jamshedji Tata. Okay, and you know that this Tata is a group of companies like Tata Communication, Tata Consultancy, then Tata Consumer Products, Tata Motors, then Tata Power, Voltas, then Titan, Westside. Yes, Westside is a Tata Group, what we can say, it is a company under Tata Group, Taj Hotels, Vistara Airlines, Tanish, then Jaguar, Fast Track. Yes, Fast Track is a Tata Group product, then the Land Rover, then Chroma, Sonato. So, these are the few examples I have given you, that Sonata and then the what we can say so many other products you are knowing about Tata. Now, what I want to say that this is a complete what we can say that companies which are coming under a Tata Group, and you know how Mr. Ratan Tata started his association with this organization. He is alumnus of Cornell University and he joined the company in 1961 and he started it from the shop floor of a Tata Steel. So, as an entrepreneur, you also will appreciate that if you are starting entrepreneurial activity, it is always better to know what exactly is there in all layers of that organization. So, right from shop floor he started, and then what we can say to get the knowledge how exactly the organization is working. And now, what I am telling about a trademark, when we say Tata, it is a well known trademark. And if you see this group of companies are there, when they want to use this trademark, they have to follow certain guidelines set by the organization, and they follow that particular guidelines, and if that is completely what we can say followed by that particular group of company, that company, then only that Tata trademark is allowed by what we can say that Tata company allows that particular company, although it is a part of a Tata, to use this particular what we can say trademark. So, they are maintaining the quality of that particular trademark. It is a well known trademark. So, what is well known trademark and what are the different types of trademark, that we will see, but this is a very good example. And then you are very well aware about products of a Tata like a Land Rover or Jaguar. If you see this example, these are the good examples of a automobile industry, and therefore, it is controlled, or the main IP which is involved along with patents is a industrial design. So, here when we talk about a Tata Group, obviously all kinds of IPs are there, or you can say any organization, if you take, all types of IPs are involved. But when we say automobile, generally industrial design dominates there. along with a patent. So, and then other product ranges there, trade dress, then industrial design, copyright, everything is involved. What we can say, all types of IP are playing important role in this particular, what we can say, brand name, or what we can say, organization, and this IP is giving obviously leverage to the organization. Second example is like a Mahindra. Mahindra organization, that it is started with a when it was founded, the name was like Muhammad and Mahindra, and then it is later renamed as Mahindra and Mahindra, and current chairman of the organization is Mr. Anand Mahindra, who is a grandson of Jagdish Chand Mahindra. So, you know that electric car Reva, it is a very, what we can say, innovative product of Mahindra. I am just taking one example, and that particular, you can just imagine that innovation is there, that entrepreneurial activity is there, and then that trademark, Reva is a very good, what we can say, trademark. Immediately you can imagine that small car which is what we can say working, or it is using fuel as a electric, what we can say, electric vehicle, it is coming under that category. Okay, so that is a next example. Next is like a Reliance example. I am giving you Reliance example because now you see, if take an example of a Reliance, it is in every sector, almost every sector you can see Reliance is there. And you know the story of Reliance, probably you have watched movie Guru movie. It is a very good movie on Dhirubhai Ambani, and you also know the story of Dhirubhai Ambani, whether he went anywhere to learn what is entrepreneurship. He is a 4th standard, he has just done that much education only, and he was working on petrol pump, and then he built this organization, and now you know the rest is all history, and how it is doing, that you are well aware. And Jio is a very what we can say, a disruptive innovation, or what we can say, the product of this organization, right, a very good trademark, right. Then the next is like a Google. Now, Google is like a Page and Breen, they have started this organization. These were the students in associated with Stanford University, and then at that time they have started this organization. And I tell you, we will see the story of Google in detail in this week only, but I can just give you the example that they have started with a single patent, and that single patent helped them to build this giant organization, and now it is coming under a group, that is Alphabet. Now, the next example I can give you about a Tesla. Now, Tesla I will give you in one particular, what we can say, perspective of IP I would like to share here, particular patent strategy which is followed by Tesla. Elon Musk, probably you know that he is a CEO of this organization, and what they have done, you know that solar energy, I mean Tesla cars are like, specifically they are using a renewable energy source for the what we can say, for running these cars. Now, the major research for this particular thing was on a solar energy, and what exactly Tesla done is that, to their core business is automobile, their core business is not like generating power from solar, that is not their main business. They want to develop that particular technology, because unless that technology develop, their main core business cannot develop, that is a automobile industry. Now, what they have done, they already have done good R&D in that particular solar, and they were having a number of patents in solar energy. So, what strategy they have done? If they want to flourish their core business, that is automobile, they should allow this, whatever the solar energy related research is there, it should flourish, then only what will happen, that their core business will get the benefit. And therefore, what they have done, they have made all their patents which are related to solar energy public. This is a very big decision, that you are having a good portfolio which is of a solar energy, probably it would be like a very good asset for the organization, but company has taken decision that it will go into the public. Why? Because unless until it will be open, it will not like flourish, that area will not flourish. That is a very good example, that open innovation and then public good and private good and the rationale for the IP. We will not go in details of that particular thing, but Android is another example I can cite, that if any technology is made in the what we can say grows in through open innovation, that technology probably chances are that will grow faster, and therefore open source software movement you can see, and because of that so many software, that is a very good example that you will get so many open source software you can use freely. So, this particular strategy is used by Tesla. Now, the next is a Microsoft. I guess it is not necessary for you to share the story of a Bill Gates. You know that he is the richest person, and that Microsoft and its software and Windows, everything you know. Now, the next is example I can just give you about a Flipkart. Now, you will ask what kind of IP is involved in that. Now, I will say that you just when you complete this week, you will just write down in the discussion forum that what kind of IP probably Flipkart will have. Mr. Bansal, he was previously associated with Amazon, he shifted from Amazon, he started this organization, and you are buying products from Flipkart. So, you just think that what kind of IP, we will see next session is like a different types of IP, just give a thought that probably what kind of IP Flipkart may be having. And if you could not able to identify that, I will say that okay, wait up to week 5 when we will complete that all types of IP up to copyright. Probably after that you will able to give me the answer. Okay, next is like Facebook. Facebook you are very well aware about, like you are using it and you are posting your what we can say so many things on Facebook, and many times probably you have seen the notice that check that if it is a copyright, you are not doing copyright infringement, that kind of notices. Probably when you are uploading any song or something like that, probably you have what we can say encountered, or you have just seen that particular what we can say message which Facebook is giving to you. So, Facebook, yes, that is a very good what we can say trademark, and little bit away from IP, I will say that it is more related to the you have to think about privacy policy and then data policy. All these things are involved in Facebook along with some type of IPs, and when such kind of a what we can say portal is there, or some kind of what we can say social site is there, obviously they are doing research to give you the good offering, and so at the back end some research is always going on, and their probability is that they may have some patents, and is the company is in US, software patent is allowed, and they will have that patent and plus copyright plus trademark. That is the main what we can say the IP involved in this, right, along with the major issues which were there like a data privacy. Okay. Next is a what we can say, I will give you a few example about Apple. Now, when we think of Apple, you immediately imagine some status kind of. So, Apple is like the offerings of Apple or Apple organization have created that particular what we can say perception about their product in the what we can say community, that okay, if you are having some Apple product, like you belong to certain what we can say status, that is a what we can say perspective developed by Apple only. Now, if you see what kind of IP is involved here, patents are definitely involved, but along with patent they are giving more in Indian context, if I want to say, they are giving a industrial design. Because why I am saying, because in USA they are giving a design patent, and so they have that design patent there. But in Indian context, if I want to say, I will say they have a industrial design kind of a IP, because we have a separate act as industrial design registration is a separate act. So, that is given the more importance is given, and you are well aware about what we can say legal what we can say the litigation in between Apple and Samsung. So, or Qualcomm and Apple for patent. So, that is very common, right. OYO is like you know, it is like a competing with a what we can say hotel business, it is they are competing with that, and Mr. Ritesh Agarwal is a founder of that, he is a IIM graduate, and again this is a what we can say good trademark. So, these are the few examples you can see that there is like a trademark and industrial design and copyright and a patent. Now, I guess if you see these examples, there is no necessity of giving a theoretical knowledge about entrepreneurship. If you follow this what we can say examples like a Tata Mahindra and this Ritesh Agarwal and then Bhavesh, probably it will be best examples that how exactly entrepreneurship is going on. And then I did not to give that various types of entrepreneurs, like in the theoretical knowledge, if you want to see, there are various type of entrepreneurs, like collaborative leadership is there, or cross cultural leadership is there, or internet entrepreneur is there, or leader member exchange theory is there, social entrepreneurship is there, then venture capital, or this terminologies and definitions probably you can understand by just seeing these examples how exactly entrepreneurship is going on. And if you see and if you try to understand the definition of entrepreneurship, I will just give you one example, because there are many what we can say definitions of entrepreneurship. Just one definition I will give, that it is organizing a group of people to achieve a common goal using proactive entrepreneurial behavior by optimizing risk, innovating to take advantage of opportunities, taking personal responsibility, managing change within a dynamic environment for a benefit of an organization. It is all like, probably you remembered now the book definition which Amir Khan given in that 3 Idiot movie. So, we will not go in details of that, you just understood that it is yes entrepreneurial activity. Follow these examples, probably that will be much easier for you to understand what that entrepreneurship is and how tough that particular thing is. My objective here is that I want to relate entrepreneurship with IP, and I have just given you examples how IP is related to that particular examples which I have cited here. Now, here you will appreciate obviously the qualities of an entrepreneur and that qualities that adventurous, it is an adventurous game actually. I mean, it is said that when you are doing an entrepreneurship, it is like a adventurous game, and there are many challenges to handle that particular entrepreneurship activity. Now, I will give you a few examples of issues, IP issues which this big organization faced, so that you can appreciate how this entrepreneurship and IP is related. Google started copying books, right, and it faced very miserably, what we can say, it was a very big legal what we can say infringement it is done by Google by copying books, and there was a big copyright case against Google. Then Facebook, I have just told you that data is very important, and Facebook faced this Cambridge Analytica case and that breach of data. Mark Zuckerberg has faced what we can say that litigation, and you probably have followed that particular what we can say the legal suit which was going on. Probably you might have followed that particular thing, and I have already cited example of Apple Samsung or Apple Qualcomm, and there are so many other examples in pharma industry. So, after knowing this, I will just we will just take a short what we can say break, and we will watch here a video, and this video is about a Tesla journey. Now, why this video I am sharing with you is like if you see the journey of an entrepreneur and that is one objective to watch. Second objective, you watch the patent portfolio, whatever they have achieved and how they are doing that particular activity. And then you see the industrial design, means when they are talking about automobile, a very good example of industrial design. So, you see it in a as an entrepreneur you see, but as a IP you have to see industrial design and a patent. Okay. So, just watch this video.
Tesla shares sliding lower.
They've drunk it long enough and nothing's working.
You don't want to own this stock. You don't want to lease it. Heck, you shouldn't even rent the darn thing.
Becoming a car manufacturer is a lot more difficult than becoming a high-tech darling.
I think they're doomed.
Okay. So, just this we are taking caution that to avoid any copyright infringement, we are just playing a 1 minute video. You can follow the link and you can watch that particular video and you can see whatever the details of Tesla journey are. Okay. So, now the next is like we will move further and I will give you a few examples of a copyright here, like Bhansali production. Now, you know about Sanjay Leela Bhansali. Now, you will say how he is related to entrepreneurship. So, this is a film industry, right? When I say copyright, copyright is completely film industry and publishing industry. When you take these two industries, copyright is like a very prime what we can say IP there. And you can just imagine this Bhansali production, so many cinematographic films are what we can say that production is there, and all this is a copyright. Next example I will give you about Mr. Rajat Sharma. So, this is a India TV, and this is a very good example again of a copyright, and I will suggest you to see the story of Mr. Rajat Sharma. He is from a very poor family. He started with a like he was not having TV also in his home when he was what we can say child, and his father's one sentence become a motivation for him, and then he started this India TV, and you know that Aapki Adalat, that is a very popular show he is hosting. Now, the next example I can give you of Oprah Winfrey. Again, this is like a what we can say, if you see the net worth, can you guess how much it is? It is a $3 billion now. So, you can imagine a copyright how much wealth it is giving. Obviously, that efforts are there, that how that Oprah Winfrey has developed her and her show is like Oprah Winfrey show is very popular, and she is also from a very poor family, like she was teased in the school and for wearing the dresses made of potato sacks. That was she has faced that particular thing, and you just imagine that this copyright is giving her. Yeah, means that again that business model is there, but copyright is playing an important role. Next example is J.K. Rowling. Everybody knows about J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and her story. It's a very inspiring story, and net worth like a forum royalty is $1.15 billion. So, you can imagine the wealth which copyright is giving to author who is creating that particular work. Now, next example of a Walt Disney. I am giving you Walt Disney example because Mickey Mouse everybody is knowing, but the main reason to cite this example is that one creator, again he is from a very poor family, he is a farm boy actually. He has created that one what we can say character Mickey Mouse. Then that Disney World is come into existence, and that is like a what we can say everybody knows. Now, important thing I want to say that this particular Disney World, they able to make impact on a copyright law, and USA has decided, this USA government has decided that to change the copyright term. So, you can just imagine that one organization, one character, and this what we can say created that Disney World, and they made impact that they have increased the copyright term. We will see that what that life of copyright is, but you just remember this example, they have pushed copyright term and increased copyright term. Government has changed that particular timeline. Okay. So, I guess this is a good good enough examples for you that okay, these are the examples and these are the IP related to that, and yes, entrepreneurship and IP are very much related. Now, I give you the another example, now recent example, that how that particular technology is giving the leverage, and how it is a very inspiring story of HapRamp that you probably have followed that thing. Mahindra Group chairman Mr. Anand Mahindra, he has invested $1 billion in this particular HapRamp, which is based on the blockchain and social media. Definitely blockchain and social media, this will give so many patents actually to this organization, and that patent portfolio will get that what we can say they will create that IP portfolio, especially patent portfolio, and obviously that will make a part of the complete wealth of that particular organization. And one point I will just say that in today's knowledge economy, more than 80% of a company's assets are intangible, and these intangibles are nothing but IP, goodwill. This makes this 80% or more assets are of that particular intangibles in nature. So, this is very inspirational story of a HapRamp. Only in 2 years, this startup is able to attract such a investment from a Mr. Mahindra. It's a very inspiring story actually. So, I guess after going through all these examples and this relationship whatever you have seen in between these organizations or individuals like Oprah Winfrey or Sanjay Leela Bhansali or Mr. This Walt Disney, then you can relate it. Yes, entrepreneurship is there and it is definitely related with the IP, and IP is creating that assets, and these assets are generally more than 80%. This is the current scenario. So, I guess now you can get idea about yes, what is entrepreneurship. These are the very good examples of entrepreneurship. Then how it is related to IP, that also we have seen in this module. So, I guess this is good enough for you to understand what is entrepreneurship, and see you in the next session. We will see there what exactly IP is and what are the different types of IP, and then you will appreciate that okay, these are the different types of IP and what are the different kinds of how it is related to particular thing. Okay. So, here we take a leave. Thank you.